Do you need help with you?
Yeah. Just keep it low. So the first moment is I am usually reading poems that are for the day that we are in, but this time I will read some of the poems that were written in Lisbon also. So they are for September, because my residency here was with the Forum Danza in September 2019. So the first one in Romanian is like this. I'll read it faster because it's discotecă pentru ploape, cu intrările zise și sonoritățile hotărâte să insiste, geană cu geană, pentru o imagine pe care niciodată nu o vedem la fel, fir cu fir de praf, distrugerea lumii continuă. Deschide muzici după game care încă ne scapă, pronunțări ale rădăcinilor fiecărui fir de păr, preiau vibrația ploapei. În membrana aerului se amplifică drept chip, peste alt chip, până la consecințele finale. Execută punctul de pornire al fiecărei zile. Ieșirea noastră, prin vise favorabile, cu partea cealaltă a lumii obligatoriu intrisecă. Spectacolul minciunilor salutare. SMS deoarece mestecă rezonanță magnetică prin acea parte a corpului numită poezie, ceea ce nici nu e de la sine înțeles că e partea ta. Unii vin cu versurile scrise pe tricou sau cusute în fabrică pe cracul pantalonilor. Mai scoate capul eufonia din decolteul curului și dansează. Rimele tind să pună mustață pe țâță. Așa se mai întâmplă când e să ne salvăm viața, că e vorba să ne prefacem sau să fim, ba ipotecă, ba farfecă peltică, ori căcat pe potecă cu mintea pe bulevardul Dacia, în mașina cu același nume, reînnoită cu foc, într-o ceremonie aztecă. So this was the first poem that was written for 11 September. And I read it in English. So in English it is a nightclub for eyelids with marked entrances and resonances determined with each eyelash to force an image we'll never see again. We each speak of dust, the continuous destruction of the planet plays music. In keys we forget how to pronounce the roots of every thread of hair I receive, the eyelid's vibration in the air, cell's membrane amplified on the face of it to another face until the eyelid's vibration in the air cell membrane that makes the outcome for every day starting point, our exit through preferable dreams of the necessarily intrinsic other side of the world, show of benevolent lies. SMS, because, mashes up the magnetic resonance with the body part called poetry, which isn't necessarily yours. People come up with lines written on a t-shirt or woven into the seat of their pants, and an euphony pops up its head out from the butt crack, and dances. Rhymes tend to put mustache on the tits because it happens sometimes when we try to save our lives, because it's about pretending or being a mortgage, or lisping scissors, or shit on the trail, thinking of Boulevardul Dacia in the car that bears the same name, renewed by fire in an Aztec ceremony. So this was in English the same poem for 11 of September, but what I can tell you is that the title is in the middle for each poem, so it's not as we are used at the end, at the beginning. The title is in the middle of each poem, which is because as I've told you, I've written half and then the second half of the poem. Yes. Then in Romanian it rhymes, the first word, the last word of each part, and also the title is only with words that have the initial SMS, for a short message, right? This is why it takes longer. Because plastic has a mind of its own. So the second poem is the one when really the fact that I was in Portugal when I was writing the second part of it pops up, is test aridity, as great as nightfall and the fall of empires have the same weight for the hopes, waterfalls and waterfalls. On the other hand, have no feline connection. They erupt in the same ragging red flames at the touch of flat surfaces, regardless of what meanings memory wise guys would give from here. What befalls and what falls away can start and always has our face, or just a second, and that's it. That's it. Reduced to judgment. Individually martyred petitioners. In Romanian this is with SMS, as I said. Solicitanți martirizați separat is in Romanian. SMS decrypted. Regular substitutes with our momentary variations would look like Portugal got in the way, breaking the lively discourse down to tiles. The truth is that it happened gradually, from the first wrinkles that snuck up on you from the bottom up to the line of the site. We go home after the Google Maps navigator took us to an abandoned field and says, stay here. And you know someone who has nowhere to stay, who people stay away from because he can't pay. Exactly like before, when I wasn't yet given the terraces, a handful of creeps speak at the same language, the way I explain how I survived the Manele Vasco da Gama seeking asylum in the song's company. Car at every age, like anything given, is liable in film frame, exhausting all possibilities, is void, work and taming of the treachery. As a last resort, I devour the round box with your collection of empty recipients, without labels, and useful gifts, and continental emotion exploration begins according to the gradual succession of walls and cavities. Yes. Now, the poem for 13th of September is a poem that is concerned with definition, the way we are defined, I'm saying. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh. It doesn't stick. Usually when I have a performance, I do this at the beginning with the first end of the plastic wrap, in order for it to be sure, for me to be sure that they stay that way.
You need help?
No, thank you. I look like I need help, but no.
You do. You actually do, believe me.
This is what I'm doing. But this is a talent, you know.
I believe you. It's also very unsustainable.
Why?
The plastic.
No, it's all recyclable.
You could use tissue.
It's very hard to see through.
This is part of the performance.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
This is a discussion I've had many times about the sustainability of using plastic wraps.
This is very bad.
No, I'll tell you why in the end, and I'll show you.
Okay. You're going to reuse it.
Not only I reuse it, but I never throw it away.
Oh, okay. So you recycle it.
Yes, I also recycle it, and each reading, in the end, produces an object from all this that remains.
Interesting. Okay. You're forgiven.
But it's a
Bless.
good point, because why would someone do all this using all this unsustainable, all this
Yeah, because you're talking about the
in an
planet.
unsustainable way? Yeah. Thank you. I had to deserve the help. Yes, this is it. Thank you. So for the September 13, it is defined by floral rictus in distances spread out in sonic models. We integrate ornaments from the vegetal kingdom, backgrounds from manuals, participate in breathing segmentation. Labeling suggestions, three-dimensional projections on the screen of fog when the white owl coos. After serial, lost among basalt boulders, childish projections. From the pre-shadow of every moment, after we practice carefully, spraying with the care of fractured music, of electrolytes, minor death socialization. SMS already. Come when you can, and we'll find a place for you. Exhaust the zoological perspective, they patted themselves on the back. Descendants of gods, and we still come from chimpanzees. So you ask me what they'd rather read. Those you deserve. A hand raise in front of the bed to ask, don't we spend cruel readers there? There are books with drawers labeled poetry that aren't read but read you, with talking muscles embittered from the usual conditions. This blade doesn't swallow your drama. When we aren't required, it's impossible not to be restless. The next one for September 14 is much shorter. It's a poem with paths of death, paths of celebration, and settings when the endings and desire, deeds and whispers, recoveries, and exaggerations are wasted after a single light flicker, on and off, and the other way around. Menstrual satin Saturdays. SMS slide. The wind erased from the floor imagines silhouettes. Not only their effect is perverse. You want to hear it in Romanian too?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me find it in Romanian first. At least I don't have to write it. So, in Romanian it is demers de celebrări și setări, când desinențele și dorințele, faptele și șoaptele, recuperările și exagerările sunt varză. După o singură aprindere și stingere a luminii și invers, satin, menstrual, sâmbătă, SMS, derdeluș. Șters de perdea, vântul imaginează siluete, nu doar efectul, e pervers. This one should be easier.
We like to see you working hard, so it's okay.
Sorry?
We like to see you working hard.
Yeah. This is a part of my story, working hard.
Why aren't you using a scissor?
It's the same.
Your teeth
Just
are,
another.
your teeth are really good. Mine would be already on the floor.
No. It's just exercising. Yeah. For September 15 was a poem that got to my main obsession in poetry, which is breathing. Breathing mirrors recognitions and reports coming out of the vast domains of repetitions. I went through all the sunrises and you played jazz in the bank between your shoulder blades, and I contributed to the overall feeling that you've lived a billion lives and perception invented different looks that those who don't want to take one from cemetery to the next to identify signs of life in their late compatriots at the surface, streaming, but you come to lie down. Speculatory handled speculations. SMS reveal. You interpenetrate nerves by dancing what looks like Swan Lake for dormice. Yes, you interpenetrate nerves by dancing what looks like Swan Lake for dormice, quails, amoebas, and whirling dervishes. As usual, you search for yourself, and when you find yourself, you're someone else. Like you didn't know that the mother of tourists is always pregnant, because they are the only way you can become a supermarket of frauds and victories, where you hide bird cages of interest. So, for the last two poems that I have, I use this costume. Because the last poems are about mind and fiction. It realized I don't need it anymore. Mental galvanization following electricity's funeral cakes are already eaten, and it's impolite to talk about it when the impulses are short with the feeling of confirmations, and only thing clearer is the moan after simplicity promises a look, and your persistence in the round mirror in the hallway, between the wood borders of the glass on plant legs, the cotton in the couches blooms. This everyone wants to know, the bizarre details. Synodic mammalian resonance. SMS enough. They write, whose surprise by how strange my habits are should take part in this morning closer to the natural exhibition, undertaking that is also applaudable for its sustainability. As they say, where you see yourself after both of us already survived, just as like to break up on straight lines, the shadow of permanence, the useless lesson and presence of additive and expertise. So we can be right here in the bathroom where the nourish our chances at illumination, thou notification to crystallization. And now the last poem. Should see me also taking off this stuff. Just a moment. I'm ready.
You need help.
So, power in any confirmation, delivered after customs formalities are finalized. Before leaving, but after demarcation, before you make out the perfect formula for balancing the moment between unknown appearances that line up after the rules established outside on the yellow lines via which direction and packaged commercial cans are traced and offered in the minimum shine as he opens and closes his green leather jacket on Iceland or on the continent according to your breathing after the clouds, shadows close before they are consumed and wasted, before the punchline, the airborne or tended offer, the walls protect themselves from unexpected knocks. Mai am 5 minute.
Okay.
And at the sound of the keys and takeoff is only sign and cool notice and recognition, the reflex and hypostationing, the stage of the macrame spirit, SMS derby. The sky or someone is asking for attention. If we need to work on landings, now the images are neighbors, flowing water under the constant tide of sidereal neighborhoods, disaffected like a Romanian rock band, old favorite themes. If you were a dying breed, who'd want to save you? You'd talk about how you'd believe in the soul and the mission, or you'd use what's left of your foresight to pity the visitors, calm faces pressed against the walls. Calm faces pressed against the walls. Calm faces pressed against the walls. Calm faces pressed against the walls of the aquarium, because in an aquarium we're all safe, but you are all in danger outside there. But this is the only viable option for the fictional counterweight. Thank you. So each performance has a heart of its own in the end.
So what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm keeping them or giving them as presents. If anyone would like to have them. It still needs to add the date. But it will be alright.
I would like to have it.
Really?
Can I?
Of course.
No problem.
I would just add the date and it's yours.
Here.
Thank you.